Okay, and we are live coming at you in full color tonight. Okay. Welcome everybody. I'm gonna light up some Bakor here. Let's get the Bakor going. I'm lighting up the Nablatasm. Okay. So come get these blends.
That is beautiful. Ooh. Ooh. I'm here for it. What is that contraption called?
This is called a Bakor, and you burn oud in a Bakor.
I want one.
I can send you some.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah,
Let me know. Yeah, I'm here for it.
So go ahead and introduce yourself for the people tuning in. Like, I want them to know who you are, what you're about, where you hail from, where you come from, where they can contact you.
Got you. My name is Artego, the Spirit Guide. They call me the Spirit Guide because I'm a bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. In a nutshell, I'm an interdimensional being here to assist in the awakening of humankind. And the awakening is a time and space where humans are discovering their unique connection one by one to spirit, because we all have unique connections to different things in the ethers. And it's so important that we are aware of that and that we acknowledge it and we celebrate it so we can share our pieces of the puzzle with humanity. I'm a psychic medium, so I can communicate with people who've crossed over. I'm a spirit channel. I can communicate with angels and spirit guides and ancestors, as well as deities and different streams of divine consciousness as well. So I basically use my gifts to help people with life and spiritual guidance, and I do that for people all over the world. And my website is www.artego.com, and you can book a session with me. I do 15 and 30-minute sessions. If you want more than that, you definitely have to direct message me.
And you can also post your website in the chat box below, or you can send me all of your links and I will put them in the description of this video. So that way people who are tuning in, you know, when it's a replay and it's not live, they can find all of your links below in the description bar under this video.
Got you. I'm going to do that right now. .com. I guess I could have sent it all at once, right? Artego Alexander. And then Instagram. Just Artego. Okay. Am I back?
You're back.
Cool.
So tell us a little bit about how you came into this. Like, what is your, well, actually first, what is your background?
Okay.
Let's talk about some religion here. What is your
religion
background?
Okay. So am I frozen? Because I'm frozen on my screen.
Yeah, you're a little frozen.
What is that about?
The spirits are wild, babe.
Man. Come on. Y'all quit playing in America. I wonder what'll happen if I get off Wi-Fi. Breaker 19, do you copy?
You're still kind of frozen.
Man, this sucks balls.
Maybe he will be back. Hold, please. Hold, please.
Am I back?
You're back.
Booyah. I think because somebody had gave me a call, and I don't know how it got through considering I have Do Not Disturb on, but whatever. So my background. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah.
Ooh,
Okay.
Jehovah. Here we come and knocking. I never had to do field service, thankfully. And that never. I was like literally from a child I was raised, but it never vibrated with it. I guess you could say. Never felt connected to it. Um, and then as I got older and I got to explore other things, I explored Christianity, which was interesting. And then when I went to a church and the senior pastor said, God hates the gays, so we should hate the gays too. So that was my exit from the church. Right. That was my exit. So I'm like,
It's the
well,
homophobia for me.
say that. Hello, somebody. So I had distanced myself from church ever since then. I had knew some church people that were very loving and very kind-hearted and were accepting of me fully as I am, but I wasn't allowed to go to church. Hello, somebody. And I remember prior to that, like they're saying, well, if you want to go to heaven, you got to speak in tongues. And so I was standing at the front of the church, like, well, come on, what's good? How about a bushel, shoot a mosquito, shoot about a Honda, but it wasn't. Nothing was clicking. So whatever. And then so the years gone by, and I was teaching dance or whatever. I started teaching dance when I was 12, and then on May 5th of 2018, a couple years ago. I was at a hair salon. Well, let me go back a little bit.
Okay, let's take a 2-step back.
We're on 2 steps back. Before that, my friend owns a hair salon, and she had met a new friend, and she was a psychic, and I had never had a personal encounter with a psychic before. I was always intrigued with it. Like I watched like Charmed and stuff, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was always intrigued by like magic and mysticism and psychics and stuff, but I never thought I was special enough to have access to that kind of stuff. So my friend introduced me to the psychic, and she kind of gave me a reading, I guess you could say. She didn't call herself a psychic, but she definitely is. And she told me some stuff, and it came true. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. It came like true. So that was exciting. And then my friend introduced me to Abraham Hicks. Are you familiar?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so Abraham Hicks it's a woman named Esther, but she channels a being or an entity named Abraham. And they basically give like spiritual and life guidance from the broadened perspective. And then I saw her do that. I'm like, oh shit, I want to do that. Like, what the fuck is up with that? And then I would say things, and then they would talk about it, which was really interesting. So at the same hair salon, it was May 5th, 2018, on the second floor. I was dancing, just kind of hanging out. And then I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. And I remember somebody saying, you need to stop playing. And then Brittany said, he ain't playing. And then all of a sudden, it was this weird weight that just came upon me, and I fell to my hands and knees. And I felt like I had to vomit, but there was like nothing like coming up. But then I just started like spitting up words. And then I start what the church folk would call speaking in tongues. And it happened for 7 minutes, and had to carry me in the bathroom, and it was intense. It was magical too. And so if you've ever been in a hair salon on a Saturday, you know it's turned up. So there's a lot of people in there. But thankfully, like it was a lot of spiritual folk and not a lot of religious folk. So they connected to it. But then I was able to touch people and see visions, and then I could see people's angels and hear people's inner being calling to me. And then I met my higher self, which I call Christian, and then I started channeling that energy like Abraham was doing, but I was conscious, which was really exciting. So, and January of 2019, so that it started May 5th, 2018. January 2019, I had my first medium experience. I was at a restaurant with some students, and I was telling them, if you're not going to use the gift, at least learn how to use it so you can control it and it doesn't control you. So when stuff happens, investigate. So these two ladies, older ladies, came and sat behind us, and this weird feeling crept up my arm and sat on my neck. It was like some pressure. I'm like, the fuck is this shit? And I couldn't explain it. I just knew it felt like somebody's son or somebody's brother. So I went to the table. I said, hey, I know might be a little out there, but I do this weird spiritual stuff and I make you uncomfortable. Just let me know. And I stopped, but I feel like somebody's son or brother died. They took a second. The lady said, my brother passed. I'm like, well, he's here. Do you want me to continue? And I told her what he was saying, and she was validating it. And that was my first experience with mediumship. And I was always scared to do it because I still had that religious background about like, you ain't supposed to do mediumship or blah, 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 blah. But it was one of the most beautiful experiences I had ever had. But then I started meeting different layers of consciousness from all over the cosmos, and I communicate with them and different extraterrestrial, whatever you want to call them, beings and shit. And so now I'm here. I provide life and spiritual guidance for people all over the world.
So your spiritual background, you said was Christian. Was there a specific denomination of Christian that you kind of grew up in, or was it just Christian?
Just a Jehovah's Witness initially.
Okay, Jehovah Witness. So would you say that Jehovah Witness is a part of Christianity or something totally separate?
They have a lot of the same principles, but it is separate. So it's very little stuff from what I experienced. I'm by no means a professional Jehovah's Witness knower, but it's very separate. They're very much like a tight knit, not too much welcoming of other religions or anything like that. It's like Jehovah's God, and that's the only way, or like they go as far as like excommunicating people. So my mom was excommunicated when she got pregnant with me. When she was 16, I believe. So they excommunicated her from the church. So I don't know if they're still like that, but back in the day, they were very hardcore. Very, very, very hardcore. And then as far as Christianity is concerned, like I dabbled in different denominations, I guess you could say.
So like now, what is your kind of perspective on divinity?
Divinity, man. I believe everyone has access to it. And I believe that divinity is knowing your unique connection to spirit. And while I'm not religious, I do like to use the example of Jesus. I believe that Jesus was spiritually aligned. That's why he was so cold. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't any more special than anybody. He just allowed himself to be aligned with spirit in the way that he was connected to spirit. And all these people, especially black folks, like Christianity is not theirs. It is not theirs. They're connected to so much more than that entity or whatnot. Because honestly, I believe that God that they talk about in the Bible is some kind of reptilian creature. I don't know any other deity or in the history that doesn't have a name besides God. I don't know. I don't know.
So, Artego, if you had to kind of like prescribe to a label as a polytheist, a monotheist, a non-theist, an atheist.
For me?
What? Yeah, like just your opinion, your perspective. How do you view God or gods or the divine or whatever? What does that look like for you?
So for me, when it comes to consciousness and
there are no wrong answers here.
Right. For me, when it comes to like consciousness and creation, it is limitless. I believe that the thing that started creation, that entity, that being, the source of creation, I believe that energy is neutral. I believe that it created some stuff, and those things created things, and then those things created things, and then those things created things, and then something created us. I don't believe that the source of creation is accessible, if you know what I mean. And I also don't believe that the source of creation passes any judgment on anybody. I think the source of creation sustains creation by the energy that we feed off of that sustains our heartbeat. And when it comes to like religion, I'm not bound to any religion or any ideal or belief, which puts me in a position to walk with all men.
So you would just consider yourself to be like spiritual?
Mm-hmm. Spiritualist, I suppose you could say.
Okay.
Most definitely.
So tell the listeners about how we met.
We met at the
this is going back, you guys.
Man, this is going back. We met at
2 years ago.
Was it the Oddities Festival or convention? The Oddities something. So I walked by a booth and I saw Jasmine. Well, I saw some of her other associates first, and then I saw Jasmine. And for me, it was an immediate connection. And we started chopping it up. Because, you didn't really see like young people, young, vibrant people like out doing the work. Like, and I call it the work of spirit, which can mean any facet of spirituality. But they were out doing readings. They were welcoming. They didn't seem you or your friends didn't seem judgmental in any way, shape, or form. And we sat there and we chopped it up for a little while. So we met at the little Oddities Festival.
Yeah, I think that when you came up to the booth, I don't think I was there. I think I was actually behind the scenes, or as we call it, behind the curtain.
Yeah,
doing
you
the
weren't.
work.
I don't think you were visible at all. You kind of came
No.
out of nowhere.
Well, because like I remember that I had just finished a palm reading,
Mm-hmm.
and spirit, right? Like my spirits are like, you need to leave your booth, because I was actually thinking, let me take a little extra sip of this festival juice and just vibe for a minute. But my spirits were telling me, no, Jasmine, you need to leave your booth. There's something out there. You need to go out there. And I was like, fuck, really? Like, okay. So as soon as I stepped out of my booth, you were right there and you were like, hi, hello. And I was like, hi.
I was excited.
I love that. I love that.
I was excited. Yeah, I immediately felt a connection to you. I loved your, I guess you could say, witchy vibe. And what was most intriguing about it is your confidence and your unapologetic, like, this is me. I know who I am. I know what I am, and I know how to do this work, and I operate in it, and it's fun, and I love it, and can't nobody tell me nothing about it. So I love that vibe. It was that's a very special vibration to me, and I'm always drawn to that vibe.
So, how would you identify your practice now? Like, are there any, and labels are like annoying, right? Like,
no, I get it.
We are so beyond a label, but human beings in our species likes to kind of put these things into boxes.
Yeah, help them make sense of things.
Right. So like, what labels, if any, in the spiritual realm do you identify with? Like, me, I'm very much like, I'm a witch, and like everybody knows I'm a witch. I'm the big bad witch of Marion County, baby. Okay.
Right.
That's who I am.
Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. I guess mostly because I do the psychic medium work, I do the spirit channeling, I do the spiritual teaching, but in essence, like if I had to pick a label, I would be a messenger of spirit, which in essence is an angel. So I would label myself as an angel, because if people were to see me as I was, that's what they would assume that I am.
The spirits are playing tonight, honey.
Oh, did I cut off?
Oh, yeah. We had about like a 15 seconds worth of a pause. The spirits are playing.
Shut the front door. Hey, we got a lot of energy on either side of these cameras.
We have 28 people watching us right now.
Hey, come through, 28. I approve that message. But I would label myself as an angel, a messenger of spirit. Because if people were to see me as I truly was, they would assume that I was an angel, and that assumption would be correct. If they were to bear witness to my light, absolutely. So I'm an angel, a messenger of spirit. That's the label that, if I had to choose, that's what I would be. But people call me all kind of stuff, but whatever.
So how would you define an angel? What do you mean? Like, can you elaborate further on you as an angel, what that means?
Yeah, for me, it's a messenger of spirit, whether if that spirit is a deity, a loved one who's crossed over, or an ancestor, a spirit guide. As an angel, I'm the bridge between the physical and the non-physical, between humans and spirit, whatever spirit is, whether it be an alien or whatever. So, and as the bridge, I take that responsibility, to heart, and I share my experiences, not to change anyone's beliefs, but in hopes that it inspires them to look from a different perspective. Like, hey, maybe there is more than what I've been led to believe. So absolutely, definitely a messenger. If primarily a messenger, but from my understanding, an angel is a messenger of spirit. But because I work with ancient energies that haven't been thought about in a millennia, so I'm here to also bring the forgotten back to the front table, like Lucifer Morningstar.
Okay. So how does that play out for you?
It still blows my mind every fucking time. Every fucking time. It's always like something. Once I think I got everything in checking in line and understand everything, like something else pops up. It is beautiful. Because now I'm understanding that this journey that I'm on and like this awakening, it's a never-ending process. And that's what really gets me excited, because I get bored easily. But with this work, I'm never bored. I'm surprised at every up, down, left, right. I remember one evening I was sitting in my car meditating, and Anubis came to me. Like, it was a physical manifestation of this dude. Like, the shadow went up on the brick wall behind my car. Like, I hadn't seen anything like that before. And I'm like, who are you? But it's exciting. I love it. That's how it is for me. It's exciting. And to be able to help to give people clarity and help give them the guidance and direction, it's beautiful. Working with a young mother or a young mother whose son died when they were 16, being able to give her closure on his death and reconnecting them, letting her know that he's always there, that he still sits in his gaming chair that sat in the living room. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that, being able to give someone closure like that. It's exceptionally fulfilling. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like I've been watching you in the digital realm for a while. And, you know, I don't know if you've seen much of my content or not, Artego, but like I'm very much a witch, and I very much kind of walk more so on the left-hand path. So when I saw you getting into Lucifer Morningstar, it was very interesting to me because, and I mean all tea, no shade with this, but you've always struck me as more of like the love and light variety. So that you're getting.
Hold on.
Oh, please. The spirits are wild tonight, y'all. Min fadlek. Atede. Oh, please. He'll probably be back in a moment. Tina, that is so sacred. I love Anubis as well. I love Anubis. Let's see. Oh, I think he's back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I am so sorry. Someone keeps calling me, and I had to text them and say, hey, please stop calling me right now. Like, I don't even know how they're getting through because I'm on Do Not Disturb. But you were saying it took you by surprise when I was talking about Lucifer Morningstar, because you took me as this love and light person. So finish off what you were saying.
Yeah, because, you know, I keep my eyes and ears out everywhere as a witch, as any good witch should, right? You always want to keep your eyes out. And, you know, I've seen you with a lot of this new ageism, ascended masters, higher consciousness sort of vibe. And then all of a sudden, I've seen you talking about Lucifer Morningstar. I'm like, okay, so are we coming into a little bit of a satanic tea? Are we coming into a little bit of a left-handed tea? Are we coming into a little bit of the gray magic instead of just black and white? Let me find out.
Gray is a very beautiful way of putting it, because there's this space in between good and bad, the space of neutrality. And, you know, the victors get to tell the story. They're the ones that get to, and oftentimes the ones who they're writing about never have a say in even their own story. So Anubis is a part of the forgotten. Isis is a part of the forgotten. The ancient ones are a part of the forgotten. Lucifer Morningstar are part of the forgotten. Even Jesus is a part of the forgotten, because the story that was told was never told from his lips. Ain't no book of Jesus. Hello, somebody. So I'm also not only a voice for, you know, love and light, I'm a voice for those who have been forgotten as well. They came to me and said, I'm like, well, what do you want? They said we want what they want, and they pointed to the gods of Egypt. We just want to be known. Papa Legba came to me. He said, I'm like, because I channeled him for a friend. I let Papa Legba all in my space and channel. I don't hesitate to channel. You need me to channel, so like, what's up? And Papa Legba came to me a couple weeks ago in my kitchen, him and Baron Somebody. I'm like, hey, whoa, like, what's up? What's good? And I also know that my 12 guys that are around me, that the fence that is around me, they're not going to let anything in my space that's not in alignment with my highest state of being, that's not going to propel me, take me somewhere. So I asked Papa, what do you want? And he pointed to Anubis and Ra, because I have them on my wall. He said, I want what they have. I want to be remembered. I want to be known. So I tell the story of me and Papa Legba. Papa Legba told me, I said, well, how do you know me? He said, you were almost gifted to me before you were born. I'm like, what the fuck is that about? My mama, I ain't told I was telling the story. My mama tried to take me out when she was 16. She tried to abort me herself. She used to have her brothers and sisters like sit on her stomach and stuff. She was terrified because in the Jehovah's Witness religion, you know, she was getting excommunicated, like, period. That's why she got excommunicated, because she was pregnant with me, but there was no way she was keeping me out of this cycle, because I was supposed to be here. I got work to do. But Papa was like, she almost gifted you to me. And then I came back when you were activated. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, I don't want to be forgotten anymore. I'm like, well, I'll tell the story. Like, I'm good. You can't have none of my blood. I'm gonna call the shots because you came to me. And we can make it do what it do. So and when I was telling some of my associates about Papa Legba, it was like, oh, well, he's gonna want this and this and this. Not up in my space, he's not. He came to me. I don't go to deities. They come to me. I have not one time tried to reach out to a deity. They come to me. So you come in my space, it's gonna be an even exchange of energy. It's gonna be a balance. I'm not doing no weird off the wall shit, period.
I feel like, too, I remember us talking about the gods of Kemet and the old gods.
Yes, the old gods.
When you came to the shop, and I think I was like getting ready to teach a class on something, but you came to the shop and somehow we got into a whole Kemetic god conversation and the pantheon of Egypt, and like I was showing you my Ankh tattoo like on my back, and like
I had asked you, like, what energies do you work with, if you worked with any like outside energies or whatever. And that's kind of how we got on that conversation.
Yeah, because for me, like, those were the first gods that I like ever really actualized, you know, like there might be some Islam, right? Like, but for me, it was like I grew up around Kanopi jars. I grew up around Hatshepsut. I grew up around Nefertiti, like, and busts and statues and papyrus with Bast and Sekhmet and Anubis, like, you know, like, so my first blood right sacrifice religious tattoo, because to me, most of my tattoos are very sacred and religious and is a way to make a blood sacrifice to the gods, because it is a modern day blood sacrifice. I mean, they're literally piercing your skin with a needle.
Yeah.
And if you go into that tattoo appointment with intention, then it's a ritual and it's magical. So when I got the Ankh on, you know, my back with the heart, to me, that was me connecting myself to the immortality of the Ankh and how my perception at that time that God was immortal. And I put like a heart on the top of the Ankh because to me it was like immortality and love. To me, immortal love is what God is. To me, God is the energy of love.
Agreed. So now you said at that time, has something changed now in this time and space?
Yes.
How so?
So I still hold the Ankh very sacred. I have it on my hand right now. Okay. I love Kemet, you know, I love Isis, Ra, Osiris. Anubis,
Yes.
Sekhmet,
Yes.
Wajit. Matter
Yes.
of fact, I have a meditation trance to Wajit premiering on the 5th of December on my YouTube channel. And it's a priestess trance to connect with the Cobra Queen from ancient Kemet. Absolutely. So all of that is still relevant. I have Kemetic statues. I pray to the gods. I'm a polytheistic witch, and I practice Arabian conjure. Sehir. Absolutely.
You tight. You are so tight. You are so tight.
When it comes to, is God love? Yes, I believe that all of these gods from all different cultures, we call them different names, of course. So we might call the energy of motherhood and love and witchcraft and agriculture and power Isis, but the Scandinavians or the Vikings might call that Freya. So there's different names for different types of universal energies: love, war, chaos, harvest. Nike, Athena, Aphrodite, Sekhmet, Kalima, Lakshmi, so forth, so forth. There's different gods around the world from different geographical, linguistic, and cultural regions that are just abbreviations for this energy. So, but at the end of the day, I think that all of these gods come from one source, which is the divine. I don't think that the divine is pure love anymore. I think that the divine, the universal source, to me, would be like the Hindus' perception of Brahma, which is just a source, just an energetic, chaotic source. And some of that energy is love, and some of that energy is not love. Some of it's ugly. And I think that the sacredness to me in that is that there is a time for peace, and there is a time for war, and there is a time for love, and there's a time for hate. And I think that, and I talk about this on my channel too, and I don't know if you've seen it in my content or not, but this whole idea of shoving a rose quartz up our ass and pretending that everything is okay is so toxic to me. And I consider that to be very much toxic positivity culture, because our lower vibrational feelings, our angst or sadness or hatred or anger or whatever, to me personally, as a high priestess, is equally as sacred and spiritual as the opposing energy of love and forgiveness and acceptance. There's a time for this stuff. There is a time and place for this stuff. If you think that you are going to pray your enemies away with forgiveness, that's cute, but I'm here for the real work. So if you want to really lay some hexes down or play some tricks, if you want to call upon the jinn, okay?
You better know.
We can really get into it here on the channel.
You better know. And that is your unique piece to the puzzle. And that's so beautiful that you're aware of your power and what and who you are. It's very significant in the expansion of humanity and spirit. Hello, somebody. Because I don't do too many hexes. I don't know too much shit about hexes. But I do know the Forgotten will come in and bring up some karma real motherfucking quick. And like you said, I believe that you should be handling your shit. You should be fixing your shit so it can be for you, and you can use it as a stepping stool, and it's not pulling you back every time you take a step. You feel like you're getting pulled 3 steps back. Fix your shit. Handle your shit. Man up and face the shit that you had a hand in helping to manifest. You know what I'm saying? So I completely value your point of view and where you're coming from. And I feel like too there's a time and place for everything. There's a time for love. There's a time for war. There's a time for and everything in between. You just got to know.
I think that some people would say, Yasmin, you're kind of jaded. You're kind of mean. You should vibrate higher and this and that and the third. And here's my thing. I've been through some shit and I've seen some shit. And I have been practicing witchcraft for about a decade now. And towards the beginning, I really did kind of believe that light and love would overcome everything. And in my experience, it does it, sure, to an extent, but there are times in our life where abusers need to be brought down to their knees. And if I am able to be a part of that process and to castrate these monsters,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it.
And I can dig it. It's the role that you have encompassed is very significant to the balance. We need you. You know what I'm saying? We need you. We need someone who is not afraid to step into the dark and fuck some shit up.
Well, and I have friends on kind of like both sides of the fence here. And I'm a little bit controversial, even in like the occult and the witchy world, because I have friends who are very much light and love, very into their crystals, very into their angels, very into their ascended masters, very into their chakra alignments, right? And I also have friends who are very into their demonology, very into their quote unquote black magic. And we can go into that whole terminology because I have opinions on that later. But they're very into this baneful hex work magic. And, you know, I've always considered myself to be a little bit more ambidextrous. Like there's a time and place for this. Like, sure, let's take a yoni steam. Let's shove a clear quartz up our who knows where. But like, let's also hex your ex. Like your ex is trash. And like, let's put his ass in a coffin box, sis. Like, it's okay to do that. Like, he did you wrong. He did you wrong. He shouldn't have did what he shouldn't have done. So let's put him in a coffin. Okay? Or how about some of these men out here who are touching these kids?
Hello, somebody.
You know, you want to tell me that you're just going to turn the other cheek and pretend that's all light and love? If y'all want to do that, that's okay. That's hasanan. That's on you. But I don't want to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
I want to haunt them.
And I think with that, for me, it makes a big difference when, you know, I guess you could say going that route with someone who has, you know, crossed that line of inflicting their own will on someone else's free will. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with unleashing some karma on a motherfucker who done did some fucked up shit. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? So, and if somebody call me and need to fuck some shit up, who am I? I'm gonna send them to Jasmine. And you know that space, like you know that I can unleash some shit, but I feel like they would be more beneficial, like, you know, embarking on that journey with someone like you who knows that space.
Well, and my thing is this, and being at the store too, I have people all the time asking me to do spells for them. And I don't do that. So if anyone is inquiring about me doing spell work for them, that's not the kind of witch that I am. However, I will happily give you a consultation and teach you how to work this shit yourself.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, like, where do you draw the line? Like, where do you step in and do the shit? And like, where do you like basically teach people how to fish? Where do you give people fish? And where's the line you draw where you teach people how to fish?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that I will teach you how to fish. I will teach you how to work with the abyss. I will teach you how to conjure. But at the end of the day, this is your mess, my mess. And the best person to fix the mess in your own life is yourself.
Exactly.
There are people out there who will charge you $50, $500, $150 to do a spell for you. Go see them if that's what you want. I'm not going to light no candles or do a spell for you, but I will happily give you a reading and tell you how to do this work yourself. Because that way you're not constantly paying someone else, some other witch, to do this conjuring for you. Because I believe that we are all capable of doing this.
Absolutely.
It requires, you know, a little bit of creativity, a little bit of study, a little bit of intellect and intuition and commitment. But anyone can practice witchcraft. Like you don't have to necessarily, I don't believe, while some people might be born witches, I don't think that you have to be born a witch to practice witchcraft. You can also study it and you can practice it.
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this question here from Nantesha Sasan, which is, will you explain the Hamsa hand? So, Nandi, I have a whole video about the Hamsa on my channel. It's called Hamsa Powerful Protection Symbol. I'm wearing it right here on my neck right now. The Hamsa is a hand like this. It has 2 thumbs, okay? It's found in Judaism, also Islam. It represents the 4 pillars of Islam, the 4 pillars of Judaism. I have a whole video about that. If you go on my channel, you can find that. Joan says, I like her. I got an ex for her to hex. Baby, let's talk and you can hex your own ex, okay? We can really work it out. Tina Schaefer says, I identify as a fuck around and find out kind of witch.
Come on, fuck around, find out.
Frank Moon says, with enough energy, you can do whatever. Hello. Somebody. Kelly Vernon says, Nut in Geb, father of earth, Nut, mother of sky. I'm looking at the comments here because I try to keep my streams to about 45 minutes and we are getting close here. So we will have to end this live stream. But this has been so fun. And Artego, like, I would love to have you back for a part 2 if you would be down.
I'm here for it. I'm here. And let me just go back and say I love what you said about, you know, teaching people how to fish, because I'm absolutely in alignment with that. I think it's more beneficial because I'm all about humanity standing up for themselves and handling their own shit. So I think it's beautiful that, you know, you're one of the people who teach people how to fish. It's so important for people to learn how to access their own power and to know that they have access to the types of things that we have access to through their allowing.
Yes.
Don't go fishing at that watering hole.
So we are getting close to time here, unfortunately. I mean, we could talk all night.
Man, time has went by so fast. It went by so fast.
Yeah. So maybe sometime this week I can have you back on again, because I think that my viewers have really enjoyed you. I mean, we have had so many comments here going down. So
good deal.
Yeah. So maybe sometime this week you can come back on, and I would love for us to talk more about what we talked about tonight, and let's get into some Kemetic teas too. Like, can we talk about Anubis and Isis and Ra and Osiris and Sekhmet and Bast and Wajid and Sobek? Like, can we really get into the Kemetic teas? Because you know I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. I'm down.
And it's funny that we're talking about this now, because I was just talking to my coven and I was giving them a list of like all the female pharaohs of Egypt, because let's not forget there were female pharaohs
and they don't talk about them. They're not talked about.
So so our next video, if you're okay with it, is going to be about ancient Kemet. How's that sound?
I'm here for it.
Maybe we'll shoot for sometime this week or maybe sometime next week.
Yeah, sometime this week.
Thank you all for tuning in. Artego is amazing, and I will put all of his links in the description of this video. Just make sure that you send me all of your social media links.
I sent them in a private chat.
Okay, I'll put them in the description of this video. So after this is live playing, we can all kind of get together with all the links. You can find all of my links, my Patreon, the store link, my Instagram. You can also get my t-shirts, and then you can find all of Artego's links down below.
Come on, t-shirts. Come through.
Got to.
Come on, monetize. Hey.
Look, if you want my face on a t-shirt with the bindi and the bangle that says I will not be silenced, you can do that for $24.99.
Hello, somebody. Come on, plug.
All right. Until next time.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. I very much enjoyed myself. And I adore you. Thank you so much.
Yes, I adore you too. Tush Bihu out here, and have a good night.